Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. In this video you're going to see me getting some blanks out of these odd scraps I've rescued from a couple of firewood piles. So I'll start down here. This is a piece of what I think is jarrah, plain jarrah, or it might be Tasmanian myrtle. It's 30 mil by 75, which is 75 is 3 inches, so it's about an inch and a quarter, inch and 1/8, something like that. And I'm hoping to get a small lidded bowl out of that, a little cross-grain box. This is a piece of very nice looking silky oak, except that it's got worm and splits. Look at that later. A piece of something or other bone dry, which might be some kind of oak, or it might be walnut. I really don't know. Another blank, which is melaleuca, which I cut, in fact, a while back, intending to make a pot, but it split. It was green, still is a bit green. And so what do I do with that? And this is a piece of what might be cherry. It's a very unpromising looking piece, but I reckon I'll get a dish out of it of some sort. So we'll look at each piece on an individual basis. Start with the easy pieces. This is the melaleuca. It was wet when I cut it as a blank for a pencil pot or something like that, or a small vase. Didn't get to it. The pith is here. And there are the growth rings. And so these, more moisture in these growth rings, therefore as the wood dried out, that split. That's what always happens. And there's another little one coming in there. So simple solution here, just cut this across through there, eliminating the splits. I'll cut across through there, and then I will have two small blanks, which I hope will be close on 4 inches by 1.5 inches, which is 40 mil by 100. Using a 3/4 inch 4 TPI blade here, 4 teeth per inch, and that was left over from when I was cutting some boards. I would normally do this with a 1/2 inch blade. So straight through. And I want to cut the split out. So there's a wedge, gets rid of the split. Flat area on either side. Let's use this as a support. And basically cutting parallel to the top face. And so there is a blank, and I can draw a circle on that, although I might want to have a square dish, so I'll just leave it like that for the moment. Same on the other side, only cutting out that. Now these are both wet, or still a bit green. They probably feel like they're down to about 15 or so, 15% moisture. So I could just bind those up and keep those for a base and a lid later with a cross-grain box. So I'll probably do that with those, and put the date on, which is 11/25. Next, when you're buying a bandsaw, if you can afford one with a brake, get one with a brake. Very handy. This has wormholes. The visitors will have gone, but wormholes is wormholes. And splits down here. So I don't see any point in filling that or doing anything with it, just get rid of it. So, and there, the visitors have basically gone into the sapwood, so I need to cut this down about there. And I'm just going to go down just inside the sapwood because it does go off in that direction. Most of the splits have gone. I will take it down a little bit further. You can just see a split down here. It can actually break off. So the moment I can consider this as a rather expensive, rather fancy tool handle, maybe two tool handles, so I could cut that down the middle. I can also make very nice little lidded bowls, and I think that is the way I would go with that one. This is dry, and I can just keep it like that. I could also make some very nice spatulas out of it because the grain's pretty good, but I think the best use for it, if I'm thinking commercially too, which I usually am, I can get some, probably what have we got, at least two lidded little boxes, and a little bowl down at the bottom. So there's potentially maybe $150, $200 worth in there. Now this could be used for flat spatulas. If you've paid for wood, it's very nice to get something out of it. If you can. There are splits in the middle, but there's no reason why I couldn't make flat spatulas here. Splits there. Split there. And I can sand that and try and split it, rotate it, but that basically would not turning, but it will sand down to a useful implement. Two splits. Now this one, this bit of jarrah, which has, it's not a filled split, it's a gum vein in through here, and that the split seems to tail out about there. And you can see somebody got some use out of it drilling out plugs or something here. I'm looking at a couple of squares down here, so come straight across here. And just to see how far that split does go, can't really see it. Let's take another bit off. See if it bends, which it doesn't, so that's solid. So that's that width. Take a little bit less. It'll be just about square. Well, there are little earrings in there. And there we are, 70mm box. It's about 2 3/4 inches, or a little bowl. Which side do I want up? Probably this side. Just looks a little bit cleaner. And this is slightly larger, so I can make that slightly larger. Now that I can cut the corners off, and I'll just do that in this case. This won't go around that corner too easily, so I'll just cut that straight off. Now that cuts very nicely, so I imagine that's going to turn beautifully. So the next thing probably will be to drill a couple of holes with a Forstner bit in there so I can put it over some long nosed jaws. Right, this odd bit of, I think it's cherry, very thin down here. So first thing I'm going to do is to just take the side off. And I can hear how thin that is. I just want to get a nice looking flat area there, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Walking around all over the place. Ah, this smells like macrocarpia. Not one of my favourite timbers. So I have two options here. I can try and cut that clean, but that's pretty risky going through the saw like that. And I think probably, let's get this off. Now I marked centre here originally, and what I'll do is put it between centres, and then I can pivot it around the axis and get the maximum dimensions out of it, and that'll save me having to do anything now on the back here. So this will come out. This is very dry, this blank, so just draw a circle. Right, now this can go around with some support underneath the edge. Now the big bit. So this has what could be some interesting grain around there. There are various splits. There's a split coming in there. I really don't know what I'm going to get out of this, but I want to take a bit off the end so I can see roughly where the splits go. On this end, where I can see some interesting looking grain, just zillions of little splits. So it's on the flat surface, so I've got it secure. The sniff test, it isn't walnut. Looks terrible. Oh, bad enough to be decorative almost. I do not waste time on bits of wood like this. I'm going to just cut it in the middle, and you'll probably see why. Let's go pretty well all the way through. And there's no point in trying to cut anything small out of here because of this lot. And they don't go probably for quite a long time. So at last we're down to some clean wood in here, but there's not much you can do with it. So, firewood. I have some nice little potential box blanks there, as I have there. So I'll basically turn this into pairs of those. And what I might as well do it is just to square them off for the moment. This is silky oak. The smell of it. So they will make nice little ring bowls or boxes. So from that lot I got a potential small bowl plate, a possible box or two little bowls, five little bowls or two boxes, and there's another box.